Hello and welcome to the ultimate Florida bucket list. And no, there will be zero mentions of theme parks, Harry Potter, Mickey Mouse, or expensive turkey legs on this list. That might be for a whole different video. We love the theme parks, but Florida is so much more than long lines and fire-breathing animatronics. So this video is going to be about the real Florida. Wild, weird, beautiful, and gloriously unpredictable. The stuff we love because it is so unique to this state. And today we're going to dive into 10 epic, only in Florida experiences that every Sunshine State explorer should have on their list, from swimming with the sea potatoes to watching rockets blast into space from the beach. These are 10 of the most quintessential, only in Florida experiences that you could have. And for this list, we're going to start in the north and we're going to work our way south, so we're going to hop around all over the state. And remember, this isn't the correct list, it's just my list. If I missed your favorite only in Florida experience, please let me know about it in the comments. Maybe we'll do that in part 2. And make sure to check the video description for links on how you can experience these places for yourself. Alright, let's go. Let's start on Florida's northeast coast on the shores of the Atlantic Ocean and start in St. Augustine. If Florida had a time machine, it would probably be St. Augustine. This city was founded way back in 1565, making it the oldest continuously inhabited European established city in the US, and walking its cobblestone streets and narrow corners is like stepping back into a pirate movie. A really humid pirate movie. If there's any city that anybody visiting or living in Florida should probably visit at least once, it really should be St. Augustine. This is where it all began. The number one thing you really need to do here is visit the Castillo de San Marcos. It's one of the oldest buildings in the United States. It's a 17th century Spanish stone fortress that's withstood battles, hurricanes, and generations of school field trips. Out here you can explore haunted pubs, the beautiful campus of Flagler College, colonial homes, the world-famous lighthouse, and even the Fountain of Youth, allegedly, which may or may not work, but, you know, hey, worth a sip while you're in the neighborhood. St. Augustine is history, it's mystery, and it's lots of ghost tours wrapped into one very charming package. And if you haven't yet checked out our video about the things you should know before you go to St. Augustine, I'll link to it in the description. I think there's a lot of good stuff in that video for you. Next, we're going to take just a short drive down the coast to Daytona Beach, where we're going to watch the Daytona 500. With its hard-packed sand that allows you to drive your car right up and down this famous stretch of sand even today, Daytona Beach is where auto racing was born. And for some people, just getting the chance to drive their car on this famous stretch of sand is a Florida bucket list item on its own. But even if your own idea of racing involves trying to find a parking spot at Publix the day before Thanksgiving, the Daytona 500 is still a spectacle worth seeing. This isn't just a race, it's a roaring, loud, beer-fueled festival of speed that kicks off NASCAR's season every February, with over 100,000 fans packing into Daytona International Speedway, tailgating that begins at dawn, and cars zooming by at over 200 miles an hour. It's a uniquely Florida form of adrenaline therapy, and it's one of the most iconic sporting events in the United States. And even if you don't know who any of the drivers are, the crowd energy is infectious, and the entire vibe out here is just a lot of fun, and it's something that everybody should try to experience at least once, whether or not racing is your thing. Now honestly, I don't really follow NASCAR or even any auto racing at all, but I have been to Daytona just for the fun of it, and I had a great time. Seeing just how fast these cars go in person is actually really mind-blowing. It is really extreme. But something you probably don't even think about when you're watching this on TV are the sounds and even the smells that are part of this event. It is a multi-sensory experience, so earplugs are recommended, but corn dogs are mandatory. Next, we're going to take another little short drive down Florida's east coast, where we're going to watch a rocket launch right from the beach. Now imagine laying on a beach towel, listening to the sound of waves gently lapping on the shoreline. The sun is overhead, when suddenly a thunderous rumble shakes the ground and a rocket soars into space right in front of you. Welcome to Florida Space Coast, where watching a launch is a regular event right here from the beach. Now, Cape Canaveral at Kennedy Space Center is the main hub of activity, and it's where you're going to want to go for the best view, but you can also catch spectacular views from Cocoa Beach, Titusville, and even Playa Linda Beach. It's one of the only places in the world where you can literally sunbathe and watch the future unfold overhead right in front of you while these rockets are going off. And don't forget to check the launch schedule before you go, and you might want to be mentally prepared for the chance of a delay or even a launch scrub. Rockets are taking off from Kennedy Space Center like all the time now, but mechanical and weather delays still do sometimes happen. Next, we're going to hop a little bit west into north central Florida, where we're going to go swimming in a Florida spring. And there is nothing quite like your first plunge into a Florida spring. The water is crystal clear, but it is a shockingly refreshing 72 degrees year-round. And the color, it's somewhere between electric turquoise and, are you sure this isn't the Caribbean? It is really blue, really clear. You can snorkel, paddle, float, or you can just cannonball right in. No wrong answers here. Places like Ginny Springs, Itchituckney Springs, and Rainbow Springs are like nature's water parks, just with fewer crowds and without those $6 sodas. Just a tip though, some of these springs can get a bit busy on weekends and may not be as relaxing as you think and as relaxing as they look in all those great TikTok videos. And Ginny Springs in particular has unfortunately kind of earned a reputation as a bit of a rowdy party destination on some weekends. Kind of a bummer, but plan accordingly and maybe even think of going on a weekday if you can to avoid the crowds at these places. Like this right here is an extreme example, but this is what it could look like on a holiday weekend. All right, while we're in the water, we're gonna head a little bit west over to the Crystal River. We're gonna go swimming and kayaking with manatees. Few experiences in the world compare to gently floating alongside a wild manatee in the clear waters of Crystal River. This area is known as the manatee capital of the world. This area attracts hundreds of these gentle giants every winter as they escape colder ocean temperatures and seek refuge in warm waters of natural springs like Three Sister Springs and Homosassa Springs. And whether you're swimming or kayaking, the experience is unforgettable. You're drifting along in a kayak when suddenly a massive potato-shaped sea cow slowly glides beneath you like a submarine with flippers. They're curious, they're adorable, and surprisingly graceful. Just remember, no touching. This is all about respectful observation. And yes, they occasionally pass gas underwater, which is both hilarious and, entirely on brand for Florida. And if you really want a truly unforgettable experience, book a tour with one of the outfitters that will let you swim with the manatees. Now, doing this is something you can only legally do if you go with one of these professionally licensed manatee tours. Don't go chasing them down and trying to touch them if you see one on your own. It's super illegal, and you might just end up as another Florida Man headline. Don't be that guy. And while we're swimming with sea creatures over on the west coast of Florida, we're going to head over to Weeki Wachee Springs to see a real live mermaid show. Weeki Wachee Springs is home to the world's most famous underwater mermaid theater and one of Florida's most iconic classic old attractions. Since way back in 1947, real-life women dressed as mermaids have been performing synchronized underwater ballets in a 400-seat theater that was built right into the side of a natural spring. It's retro, it's charming, it is peak Florida. Like, where else can you sip a soda while watching a live-action version of The Little Mermaid unfold right before your eyes, 20 feet below the surface of crystal clear blue waters, complete with bubbles, oxygen hoses, and real live fish as the co-stars? The world-famous Weeki Wachee mermaids are one of the most enduring images of classic Florida tourism when roadside attractions like this that predated Disney World were wildly popular and even kind of world famous. And Weeki Wachee is also a great Florida state park, so before or after the show, you can kayak, paddleboard, or even take a river cruise down one of the clearest spring-fed rivers in the state. It's weird, it's wonderful, it's retro, it's classic Florida. It's one of those things we love about this place. Now we're going to take a big hop south into the Florida Everglades, where we're going to go ride an airboat in the Florida Everglades. Now, no Florida bucket list would be complete without a high-speed, wind-in-your-face ride through the Everglades on an airboat. This is going to be part safari, part thrill ride, and this experience will take you deep into one of the most unique ecosystems in the entire world. It is a vast, watery wilderness filled with sawgrass, cypress trees, and all of the Florida wildlife you can imagine. Florida panthers, alligators, crocodiles, flamingos, and unfortunately even Burmese pythons now call this national park their home. Your airboat captain, likely wearing some wraparound sunglasses and telling gator jokes, We'll zoom across shallow marshes and bring you face to snout with resident alligators, herons, turtles, and maybe even a python or two. The ride is fast, noisy, and thrilling, kind of like a swampier version of the Daytona 500 that we've already been to, just with more reptiles and a lot more swamp. Just make sure to hold on to your hat. This ride is a windy one and it is a loud one. They are going to give you earplugs to wear during this adventure. Now there are a bunch of outfitters in South Florida where you can do this. Most of them are going to be on US 41, the Tamiami Trail that cuts its way through the Everglades in South Florida, and I'll leave a few links to a few of these places in the video description. Alright, now we've made it all the way over to Miami here, where we're going to ask the average person to close their eyes and picture a stereotypical Florida city. Chances are they're picturing this exact neighborhood in Miami. Welcome to the Art Deco district in South Beach. This pastel paradise is home to more than 800 historic buildings featuring porthole windows, neon signs, and bold geometric designs that look straight out of a vintage travel poster. In fact, this area has the largest concentration of Art Deco architecture anywhere in the world. It's a certified National Historical Landmark and it's listed in the National Register of Historic Places. This district sprang to life during the 1920s and 30s when Miami was quickly becoming a hot tourist escape. Developers went all in on the bold, futuristic designs to lure cold Midwesterners and Northeasterners down south, offering color, curves, and coastal optimism during the Great Depression. And it worked. And that's why this place earns a solid spot on my Florida bucket list. This isn't just a neighborhood, it is a full-on vibe. Where else can you find history, design, really unique architecture, nightlife, and beachside glam all packed into a few walkable blocks? So whether you're here for the architecture, the energy, or some great people watching, the Art Deco district in Miami delivers the kind of unforgettable, only in Florida experience that's impossible to duplicate anywhere in the state. Now let's keep heading south down the Overseas Highway all the way to Key West, where we're going to have a slice of key lime pie at Blue Heaven in Key West. But eating key lime pie in Key West isn't just a dessert, it's a pilgrimage. This one on the list isn't just about eating a slice of pie. I mean, you can do that anywhere. You can get key lime pie at Publix. But it's about doing it here in Key West to celebrate almost completing Florida's ultimate bucket list of adventures down here in one of America's most unique towns at the very end of the world. You can explore Key West by foot, by bicycle, or like we did, by golf cart. You can have a beer in a dive bar, visit Fort Zachary, take a picture with that iconic sign, go see Hemingway's house and all his six-toed cats, then swing by Blue Heaven for the most famous slice of key lime pie in the world. This funky open-air restaurant is a Key West legend. It's known for its tropical ambiance, roaming chickens, and a pie that looks like it was crafted by dessert architects. And this isn't your average sliver of key lime pie. We're talking sky-high meringue, a perfectly tart lime filling, and a buttery graham cracker crust that allegedly even caused Oprah Winfrey to buy a home down here. I guess she loved it that much and wanted to be near it. You'll be eating under banyan trees, surrounded by live music, and maybe even a wandering rooster or two. It's a slice of Florida that captures the soul of the Keys, quirky and sweet. And finally, to celebrate coming to the end of our list, we're going to watch a sunset over the Gulf of Mexico. How fitting is that for the end of the day, for the end of our list? So after having that slice of key lime pie, we're going to hang out right here, and we're going to head down to Mallory Square right here in Key West for the nightly sunset celebration. And of course, every state has its sunsets, but Florida's Gulf Coast sunsets are on another level. Pinks, oranges, and purples melting together as the sun sinks below the horizon. It's like Mother Nature's version of a mic drop. Now, of course, you can watch the sunset all along the Gulf Coast, but some of the best spots are going to be Naples Pier, Clearwater Beach, and Anna Maria Island. These are places where there'll be big gatherings and the sunsets are so good that people clap, like actual applause for the sunset, which I know sounds really corny and kind of cheesy, but when you experience it in person, it's actually really touching and will kind of give you goosebumps. And that's something I think any visitor or Florida local really should try to experience at least once, and that's why we put it right here to complete our list, our ultimate bucket list of iconic Florida experiences. And there you have it, 10 must-do Florida experiences that don't involve waiting in line for a roller coaster. And which ones of these are you adding to your list? Have you already checked any off? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if maybe I forgot your favorite. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss another weird and wonderful Florida adventure from the theme parks to the state parks. And maybe even check out our Patreon. If you do, you might see your name at the end of the video right here. Thanks a lot. See you next time.